Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Skull and Bones. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zero. Let's get to it. So today we're seeing what it takes to be a real pirate. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. So Skull and Bones had a closed beta, which you were able to access it for 6 hours. So 6 hours total doesn't give you a whole lot of time in something that's, open world RPG like. So the previous episode, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. You can see how the closed beta started out. As it ended, we got our first real ship, the Bedar, or Bedar, however you say it. It is a small ship, but it also specializes in DPS and ramming. We just made a culverin, which is a cannon, really just a basic cannon, and of course it's the low tier basic cannon, so it is what it is. Now everyone starts having contracts that we can pick up, or quests, if you want to call them that. They say, do this for me, and then I'll give you that. We're in St. Anne's currently, which is very central in the map. We've not actually been out on our new ship yet. So this whole thing is, once you get your ship, then you have to outfit your ship. Not just cosmetics, but also weapons. Now, the Bedar has weapon slots on the sides and in the front. So 2 guns in the front, 2 on the right side, 2 on the left side, or port and stern, etc. So then we have attachments, furniture slots, and then we can only have, as you see here, we can only have one major furniture piece on each ship. Well, that's good because we only have one piece of furniture currently. So we've gotten a couple of cosmetics that we can add. It doesn't add any stats to it, but it does, look a little better than just the basic ship design. And every ship that we make, we can have its own name. So you can put in whatever name that you think is best. And move on. And then you can change your ship. So if you want to go out hunting some sharks, you go back to the Dow, use that ship. As you get more ships, then if you're looking for one that's good at ramming versus something that's good at support versus good at carrying a lot of stuff, you're probably going to have a couple of different ships in mind for each task, depending on what that task is. But seeing as how we are in the beginning stages, we only have 2 ships, and they're basic. I mean, small ships theoretically should be the fastest ships. So if you need a ship that's fast, you're going to go for a small ship. If you want something with more firepower, you're likely to have to use a large ship. So, I don't know for certain, but that's just ship basics. If you have more space on the deck of the ship, you could theoretically have more cannons on the deck. And then, of course, if it's a taller ship, you can have different rows of guns. So not just the first row, but then you have extra rows of guns. Alright, so we marked a spot on the map. Each region of the map is named differently. Looking through the spyglass, you can get... we've got another player next to us. Also in the same ship. Spyglass gives you intel. Tells you what type of armor they have, what type of faction, what type of ship, and also what they are carrying. So get a little bit of all that different stuff. There was some loot out on the water from some ship. You just don't have resources sitting out on the water. So, as you can see, ships in general won't automatically target you, but in the top right hand corner you can see that faction. So if we see that faction symbol, it is going to be aggressive toward us. So any boats within that faction are going to be attacking us now, as long as that is active. Alright, narrowly missed ramming into that island. I have a feeling that... okay, now we're neutral. I have a feeling that someone probably tried to intentionally ground their ship on top of an island somewhere. Now each faction has a different color scheme, so theoretically you can tell just by looking at the color of the ship, but depending on the time of day and the weather, it might make it very difficult for you to figure out who's with whom. Alright, you can see the basic cannons. They're doing some damage, but not anywhere near the level where we're going to be a feared force on the high seas. There we go. And now we can... they're flashing, so they've gotten low enough, and either, you know, our crew is hyped up and ready to do some damage, or they're demoralized, whatever the case may be, that we can go ahead and board. But it's not automatic. We have to actually hook the ship. And as you can also see, it's not exactly easy. I'm not really sure what we're supposed to be aiming at here. There we go. We got at least one of them. Success! Now, as this is all going on, you don't have a lot of time to sift through the loot in most cases if you are also being attacked by another boat. Because it's not like you're in a pause menu. Things are still going on around you. So these boats... oh. So these ships that are coming up are players. And they're being aggressive. So the high seas is a lot like another Ubisoft region in the division called the Dark Zone, where it's PvEVP, where you can both attack NPCs, but you can also attack other people. So all of a sudden, you've had an epic battle and you've taken some damage, but you've come out on top of this NPC that was difficult to take down, and then rolls up a couple of players to take you out. Now you can roll with 2 other players, so you can be in a group of 3, which is obviously the optimal grouping that you would want to have at all times but especially if you think you're going to encounter aggressive players, or if you're going to be acting aggressively towards other players. By the same token, you're going to want to complement what the other players are using in their loadout. So if you have 1 or 2 DPS, and you have 1 support, or you have 1 that's more of a tank, whatever the composition best suits your play styles. So you can have 1 person that is, right up in front, in their face, and you can have 2 people that are farther back, either do a tank and a DPS and a support, or 2 DPS and a tank, or maybe 2 DPS and a support. Whatever you think would work best. Now, in general, if you have a ramming ship, that is generally, I would think, would be more tankish, or should be more tankish, because if you're going to be going in and ramming another ship, you need to get close, which means you should probably have more hit points, etc. You should be able to take more damage if you have to get that close. Now, I want to say that one of the options was the ability to choose between going into a PvE server and a PvP server. I don't know if they're going to continue on with that or not. Nope. Oh, I think we got it. There we go. Have to at least hook them with 1. And of course, boarding will always give you more loot than if you just sink the ship. So I think having PvE servers is important for people that don't want to. Like, I can certainly understand. Like, you're thinking, man, I really spent all this time and effort to take this NPC down. I don't want someone to come around and just take all that stuff away from me that I just got, that I barely survived with the skin of my teeth. So, yes, I can understand that. But I can also understand being in a PvP server. What do you guys think? So in a PvP server, there's always that element of danger. That even though the NPCs aren't going to aggro you, or you don't think they're going to aggro you, you could end up getting aggro from another player. Another player start attacking you, or a group of players, and then you say, uh-oh, what am I going to do? Are you going to stay and fight? Or are you going to turn and run? Do you have the capability to outrun them? Do you have a way to slow them down? All these things come into play in that. So there's a little bit more, I want to say, excitement in a PvP environment, where you have PvE and PvP both as an option. Now, as I said previously, whenever you go back to St. Anne, or a larger city, village that has the capability, you go and you put the stuff that you do not need into the warehouse. So extra furniture, extra cannons, resources, things that you're not going to be needing within the next 10, 15 minutes, or whenever the next time is you're going to be going to a town. Throw that in the warehouse, throw that in a hidden cache, whatever the case may be. Keep it safe, so that if you are attacked, that you're able to keep those resources safe. Now, there's obviously, you're always going to need some things on your ship. Repair kits, food to boost your stamina, cannonballs, or whatever ammunition you need for your guns. Those kinds of things. You never want to be in a situation where you run out of ammo, because then the only option is to run. And if you cannot outrun another ship, then you're in trouble. So you always want to take stock of where you're at. And in the closed beta, it was a little bit, because you're always kind of, watching your time. All right, another cannon. We don't need one for the current ship, but each ship that you get, you have to have its own cannons. You can always, steal from your one ship to load out on your new ship, but then you're having to move stuff around every time you switch ships, which isn't great. So short term you can do it. Long term, I would say get your own cannons for each ship. Now, many of the vendors at St. Anne have blueprints that you can buy if you are of the proper rank. Rank is very, very important because it opens up more possibilities, more things that you can pursue, including blueprints. Blueprints are very, very important because that's the only way, unless it's a reward for a contract, to get ships and new weapons and new armor. So there we go. I bought a blueprint for Bombard. I can sell some of my excess stuff. Also, any commodities that you have. Commodities are basically only for trading, whereas raw materials like coconut and fish meat and shark skin can be made into other things. And here's a person to talk to about refining your raw materials. So if you're getting, bog iron and acacia lumber, take all that stuff and turn it into something useful. All right, so there's up to 3 slots depending on what your rank is. 1 slot, and then you see what we can make and then what you need in order to make it. So it kind of gives you an air of, crafting element. Now he's got a couple different tabs here, but basically he makes tools for getting raw materials. That's what I would say the carpenter is for. Initially I assumed that the carpenter, incorrectly of course, would take your lumber and turn it into planks. He also has blueprints. So we could buy repair kits, but if we want to make our own repair kits, we need that blueprint. And that's assuming that you can find a vendor that will sell those. Alright, so moving on. Plenty of vendors in St. Anne. And of course, it's the main campaign getter area. Here's a commodity trader where we can buy and sell commodities. It's too bad that you don't know either by looking at the map or by some other method what areas pay more for what commodities. You know, is it always that St. Anne gives you more for cloth, let's say? They always give you more for cloth, and they always... so if you want to sell cloth, you go to St. Anne. If you want... if you have uncut sapphires, you can get them cheaper at St. Anne, so you can buy them there. But then you take them over to the Sea People, and they pay more for that. Or whatever the case. So knowing what commodities, where to buy commodities, and where to sell them to make a profit, other than looting them, which also has a cost involved. Because looting, of course, means that you're going to be using ammunition. So base cost is that you're going to need ammunition to get that loot. So spyglass, very important to know that ship is going to have something that you actually want. Alright, so we updated our cosmetic look. Doesn't change anything, but we looked a little bit different. Got new mail because we went up in a rank. Alright, let's go back to the warehouse. We can put stuff into the warehouse that we do not need right away. We got a chest that we'll want to open. We don't want to put it into the warehouse. I don't know if we can do that from this screen or not. But anything that's not something that we need, we can put in the warehouse. At least until you run out of space in the warehouse. Then you're in trouble. Alright, back to the boat. Alright, so we got a couple of cosmetics, I think. Different stuff that we can buy. Oh, there we go. We did get a new emblem. Nope. It's kind of neat to look to see what you can get, even if you can't necessarily afford it right now. 2 types of spikes. Pillager and Wrecker. Ooh, spiky wheel. I don't know that I want that. Crew outfits. That's a couple not too shabby. Kind of looks like we're broke. More spikes. Fireworks. Like, that's a nice little accoutrement that you can have. Fireworks. Doesn't really do anything, but it's there. We got that one extra cannon that we can use, but no place to put it. So it's all just a little cosmetic more than anything. Just have to wait until we get a new boat and see what we can do with it. Or I should say we'll add it to the new boat so we don't have to steal from our old boat to do it. Got repair kits lined up on the action wheel. You also see it down there on the bottom left there. We can go up to the crow's nest. We can go down to the wheel. Go behind the ship. So we got the different views. And then there's a repair and then a stamina. But we don't have anything slotted for the stamina. Alright, so far we've been able to find on the map at least a general area where we're supposed to go. And the wind's coming right at us. So if we had the wind behind us, we would be able to get a decent amount of speed off of it, because it seems like it's gusting pretty decently. Increase our top speed by a couple knots. There we go, 12 knots. Treasure hunt. I think treasure hunt's good once you have a certain amount of the map revealed. Yeah, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to go all the way over there. It's not that far. I don't remember what it started off at, but it was maybe 2,000 meters away, which is not that far. So two clicks, 2 kilometers away, which in the grand scheme of things is relatively short distance compared to the map as a whole. Got a marker on there, so once we get close enough, then you can see it. If you're a little bit further out, I think you can see it with the spyglass, even if you don't see it from this angle. You can put the active, whatever you're tracking, up on the screen so you can see where you're at with it, or put it away so you have got more screen space for what's going on around you. Alright, so I marked that ship because I think it's got what I want. Which means it's time to pillage and loot once again. Now, I don't think you can go around completing some of these contracts without being aggressive towards these ships. I don't think that you can just trade for everything. I think you eventually have to. But some of them I think you actually could. Oh, there we go. Easy enough. The little number next to their health bar tells you their rank. So that'll give you an idea of how tough your opponent is. So if you're rank 2 and they're rank 1, it should be a pretty easy fight. If you're rank 1 and they're rank 3, it's going to be tough. This guy is fast. so it's hard to try and get close enough to them to try for, and then you always have to angle it up higher, I think, higher than you should need to, not close enough. It's like, get in there. There, get him. Oh, we rammed him. Rammed him. Ramming damage. And our boat's not in great shape. We're just under half, I think. So there we go. We'll use that. Bang. Everything's repaired. Should actually be like a repair over time, but maybe that's further on. The small ones you get immediate gratification, and then as you get along, the repair kit 3 or 4, it gives you more, but you have to wait for it. I don't know, but that would certainly be something more. I think it would still be fun, but a little bit more realistic. See that wall of like rain and storm just to the northeast, and then clear skies, so we're right on the edge. Oh, let's see if we can hook them. Not quite. There we go. You almost have to, if they're in that situation, you gotta hit them with the it's like, get them, get them. There, I got him. It seems like it's just dumb luck. It feels like it's just dumb luck, whether you get it or not. Yeah, it's a good thing I looted real quick on that one, because there's this next guy right there. Ooh, I took damage from that ram, but he took a lot. Oh, no. Oh, and he's down. Oh, is that another player? No, rival faction. Yeah, need to use another one. And then there's a cooldown, so it's not like you can use another one right away anyway. So whether it gives you an immediate health or whether it gives you health over time, I mean, honestly, if you get immediate, then it's better in a clutch situation. Yeah. Crow's Nest feels a little tacked on. You have the spyglass, which gives you the approximate same view. Slightly different. You know, you get to see unobstructed ahead of you, but further up. So based on that, I would have to say, I think, in my opinion, that they didn't intend to have multiple views. That you could be down at the steering wheel, or you could be up at the crow's nest, and that would be it. So instead of having the view behind the ship, you would have the crow's nest as an option. Ooh, did I get him? Oh, look at that. First try. That bonus loot is just so much sweeter when you get that. We're getting close to our maximum capacity without affecting our speed. So there we go. I think, yeah, we're neutral now, so that's good. So we're not going to get aggro from any of the neutral parties. Some of these guys are just really ripping. Alright, so we've got everything except for stamina. Yeah, the further out you go to the deep ocean, the bigger the waves. I've noticed that when you're close to land, you tend to have a little bit calmer. You don't have very many, if any, waves. And then as you go further out, you get bigger waves. So you get that like shallow water. And then you go out to the storm, I'm going to imagine that there's going to be some pretty big waves out there. Oh, I took damage from jumping the wave. That's crazy.
Ready yourselves! All might leave that ship!
Yeah, just like really tiny, tiny looking waves. I mean, we're on a larger boat, so, you know, that's part of it. Alright, so let's see. I don't think we can fit in there. I think if we had the life raft, we could make it in there. I like putting waypoints up. Makes it a little bit easier to know where I'm going. And then every so often I like to look at the map just to make sure. Like, am I going the right way? Just so I'm not going one direction for too long and then all of a sudden I find out that this is completely off course. I can't get to where I want to go by going the direction that I am. Yeah, now if someone needs to go a certain direction and the wind is coming directly at you, what's the best course of action? I mean, I could go at an angle, but then I have to go kind of back and forth, going one direction or another until I can get to where I want to go. Alright, let's get some coconut. See if we can get the... Yeah, there we go. So we got a decent amount of coconut. And there's still some there that we could have gotten. But like I said, we only have a little bit more room in the cargo hold. Depending on how heavy it is, whatever it is that we're picking up. I thought about stopping, and then I went past it. I'm like, forget about it. Let's just keep going. Alright, so now we're going to go this direction. There's a little shortcut. If we go, through here, assuming we can make it. I'm fairly certain we can. Here's some more coconut. There we go. Coconuts aren't that heavy, so we can take a whole bunch of them without affecting our weight too much. Alright. There we go. And it should be, right over here. Safe zone. I don't know why the crew boarding thing popped up. Oh, that's weird. I thought I went right through a ship the last time in the safe zone instead of butting into them. Alright, so let's go drop this off at the vendor. Oh, okay. The X isn't... That X is where out on the map in the water. It's not actually here. So there we go. That's who we need to talk to.
Metalwork is what you need. My ankles.
There. Turn it in.
Will. Thought you would cower, but you proved me dead wrong, eh?
I thought you'd cower.
You butchered company warships and girt their owns, just like a proper pirate would.
It's an uphill battle for pirates. Restoration kit. Blueprint. Demi cannon. There we go. Different type of cannon. That's good. And then a few other things. Silver. Infamy.
You tormented the company, rose in infamy.
Whenever you sink a ship, you get infamy. You can tell when you're looking at the spyglass at them. So you don't have to do any contracts. You can just go through and sink ships and board them and take their stuff and then go sell it and then go back and do some more. You know, go get more cannonballs and then go back out on the water. Never take a single contract and your infamy will still go up, just not very quickly. Seems like these contracts boost your infamy more than cutter. So we got a cutter blueprint. So we got a new ship blueprint. There we go. Infamy up. So player rank went up. Infamy went up. So now we have access to more tools of the trade.
Blast the company. Take
And he's got more contracts for us. So there we go. We'll track that contract. What do we need to do? Yeah, or we can track the blueprint. So if there's a blueprint that you want to track, you can do that. If there's a contract, you can do that. It's whatever you want to do. Open-ended. And that time just keeps ticking down. There we go. We'll go to the codex and we can track the cutter. Needs a couple different things. Some planks, some jute. Different harvesting tools for raw materials. Got our bombard. Yeah, since we went up in a player rank, a decent amount of stuff was unlocked, so that you know, if we find a vendor that sells it, we can do that. Or if we find the blueprint, then we can make it at the blacksmith. The cannons we make at the blacksmith. The tools we make at the carpenter. The ships are at the cartwright. There we go. Got rid of it. That was a little annoying. It should have been dumped as soon as I hit the waypoint. But that's okay. You know, there's two views you can have. You can have you put the waypoint up, and then once you get to it, it disappears, or you leave it up until you get rid of it. Sometimes I like that idea because I'll go past a waypoint and then I'll circle back to it. And if it disappears, then I have to put it back out. You know, you see something shiny. Alright, so go to the refinery.
Heard your name twice now while
See what we need to make those things for the cutter. See if we have it available. first of all. Morocco plank.
Great joke for you, but
And then the... was it bronze? I want to say it was bronze. Bronze ingot. We can make some shark leather. There we go. If you just make a few, you can wait around for it. If it takes time, if you're doing a lot at once, you come back for it.
I miss my
Maybe it
old
wasn't.
pocket. If you're quite done, I'll help you too.
What's interesting is that you can't craft it yourself. You have to take it someplace to be crafted. And as a result, you have to pay them to refine your raw materials. So you have no skill at crafting things. You have to have other people do the crafting. You're a basic pirate. Alright, we've got new stuff that's opened up with our infamy.
Working with my hands is relaxing.
Yeah, the only good thing is that it shows a little arrow up, arrow down if anything's good or bad in terms of selling or buying. Like, don't buy this here, it's more expensive here. Alright, now the job board. Job board, these all give silver, so if you're short on silver, you can do that. I don't really want to track any of these.
So this little anchovy grew a fiend, huh? I heard them speak of you like a vicious shark.
Alright, she's going up in infamy, apparently unlocked a contract for her, the commodity trader.
I know every trade.
Got stuff that we can sell. I don't want to sell the don't want to sell the cannons because
Return when you are ready for people.
I feel like I might need them. But the culverin, it's kind of like, I don't really need it right now, so maybe I'll come back to it. Yeah, there's a provision trader.
Sorrel is the greatest tale.
Bribe.
Of
You
course,
should be willing to tell me just because of who I am.
how will we be able to read more of his great works? Bastard companion may ruin everything. They even put
So this goes towards the treasure map. It doesn't give us anything else. Yeah, investigation. Just an idea of where to go next. So if you don't know, you don't know. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
5,000 silver reward for the capture alive of writer Jacques Sorel of children's book Kit the Tiger fame. Suspected of withholding knowledge in regards to Shadow pirate heist. Last seen living in the mansion at top of the hill in the settlement of Sainte-Amélie. It has not been there for several weeks.
PlayStation